what do you think about contemporary Celtic music, which is a broad term, or folk music? Do you have any favorites, or do you have any? I mean, you're a dropkick guy from way back, I know. So you got the punk angle, right?
It's I will say this. Don't write letters. The Dropkicks has started to get away a bit from the Celtic thing to a degree. It sounds more poppy than it does. Like they've evolved as musicians, and I'm kind of left a little bit off on that journey myself. I didn't follow them as closely recently. They did the Fenway thing, and that was pretty cool with Bruce Springsteen at the end.
Right.
So I still enjoy them, but it's not to me what it was. It's
like Kilmaine Saints.
It's a bit too polished. Kilmaine Saints are great.
Great example over there.
Another band that I've liked the evolution of is the Real Mackenzies. They went from like straight punk, Celtic punk music, and they've kind of evolved as they, or more to the point, Paul, has gotten older. They've kind of slowed down a little bit, more of a rock vibe than a punk vibe. But it's still entertaining. It's still cool. They did a lot of like acoustical type songs. They did the whole acoustical album. So I like the different angles they're throwing at it. Flatfoot, another good band. Flatfoot 56. Kilmaine Saints, Flatfoot we had 56. In the studio here.
Sail away from Galway Bay at the darkest of the 14.
Yeah, there's a lot of good music, and there's a lot of good local music. I mean, like if you're check out your local Irish bars, and a lot of times if you have a good local Irish bar, they may have local Irish musicians. Like down in Philly, we have the Hooligans, we have the Bogside Rogues, we have the Shanties, Clancy's Pistols, another one. There's a lot of cool local bands. So now I don't know what they have in Chicago or LA or anywhere else in the world or in the US, but a lot of major cities will have multiple, especially cities with a high Irish percentage, will have a lot of cool Irish musicians.
I think the I had one recommendation, and then I'm going to change it up a little bit. But for background, I was raised more on the folk side of things. My parents were huge fans of like Silly Wizard.
They hang at their minister, droon their presenter.
You know who that is? You're showing your age. And Clancy Brothers and stuff like that. Right now, probably my absolute favorite folk band is Emar, who are kind of like a super group in some ways, based in Scotland, but very much Irish-style music. They're amazing. I highly, highly recommend checking them out. And I think you can find new music in all these scenes we're talking about, either through podcasts, or next time you're going to a festival or going out on St. Patrick's Day, make some notes. Keep your phone handy and jot down the name of that band or take a photo of the poster, because especially at a big festival like Celtic Classic, our home turf, you can sample the latest folk music as well as the latest rock music, all in one setting. It's fantastic. So it's keep exploring, I guess is all I want to say.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of stuff out there that is not the stuff you're going to get from the big names that are on like Xfinity or something. Or whatever,
yeah. And I would say this: the music is how the culture survives.
Yeah.
So that's how stories are passed down. That's how things go on, is through music. And with the way the music industry is in upheaval, shall we say, in the past 15 years or so, supporting smaller musicians, local musicians, cool musicians, different musicians, directly, and learning about musicians going to festivals and things like that. It's a great place to kind of expand your own horizons and kind of check out some new stuff.
And I think it's still going on, but there's also an NPR radio show called Thistle and Shamrock, or Shamrock and Thistle, I forget. But basically they do a weekly installment, and it's basically what's happening, what's hot right now in the Celtic music scene, both Scottish and Irish and elsewhere. That's
podcasts with this, like there's
podcasts are great.
Irish punk podcast. There's Irish music podcasts. There's Celtic punk podcasts. There's a lot of different stuff out there that'll expose you to some really, really cool
podcasts are definitely the way to go. And get to a festival, go see as many bands as you can, and buy merch. It's the only way bands make any money these days is through merchandise. So please buy T-shirts, buy CDs, even if you don't use them. Buy stickers, buy patches.
Pass it on to somebody else. Listen to it a couple times,
Exactly.
throw it on your iTunes, and
Exactly.
give the CD to somebody
Yep.
else.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd say there's more Celtic music out there now than at any time in history. So it's a good time for it. But yeah, I mean, but I like the classics. Like I said, Clancy Brothers, Silly Wizard. Who else do my folks listen to? Clannad.
Chieftains,
yeah.
Yeah.
They get to that point where they're so big that they've done all kinds of
Wolf Tones.
Wolf Tones.
Another
Yep.
great one.
Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely. So yeah, we didn't even touch on metal or Celtic
It's
rock
like
or anything really.
it's weird how Irish music specifically has kind of like a vine invaded all these other
The
musical
kudzu of
genres.
music, if you will.
I know but they kind of like just get their hooks into different things, and it's neat how different genres like fold in traditional Irish instruments or songs or hell, Metallica did Whiskey in the Jar.
Right.
I mean, how much bigger can you get than Metallica doing an Irish song?
Right.
So it's neat. In some ways, it's horrible. In other ways, it's spectacular
not horrible.
to see different genres of music kind of just embracing all that is Celtic culture, or some of what is Celtic culture.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.